Well, Mike Johnson, being the doofus that he is, came out and said the quiet part out loud. He said, even if we do get this continuing resolution pushed through, I'm not going to promise you a vote on the House floor. He says he can't promise him a vote. He's the one that brings that up for a vote himself. It's up to him. He's saying he can't promise it and he won't promise it. Now, at least the Senate Majority Leader, John Thune, says, well, we'll have a vote on it. I can't promise the outcome. Well, no one can promise what the outcome is going to be. But Mike Johnson's saying that we can't even promise you a vote. And he's the one, he is the Speaker of the House. He's the one that determines what gets brought up for a vote on the House floor. And now he's backing out of it? Sure, that's a lot of incentive to sign this continuing resolution that rips the health care away from 42 million families, 42 million American people in this country. How'd you like to be the representative or the senator that voted no for your health care? You think you'd be real popular? Especially if you're a representative or a senator from a red state who disproportionately use the ACA or Obamacare. My neighbor still thinks the ACA and Obamacare are two different things. Even after looking it up, he is just so stupid. He thinks that they're separate things. White people get the ACA and black people get Obamacare. Really? How far is your head stuck up here?
I told him this morning what we've talked about many times and what I've said here before. The president is on the ballot in 2026. President Trump is on the ballot next fall. Because if we lose the majority, if the Republicans, the common sense people here who are doing the job for the American people, if we lose the majority in the House and this radical element of the Democrat Party were able to take over, we've already seen that movie. They will try to end the Trump administration. He won't have 4 years, he'll have only 2, because they will move to impeach him probably on the first day of the new Congress in January 2027. And they will try to systematically unwind all the important reforms that we've done for the American people.
Speaker Johnson, you can sit up there and cry all you want. The fact is that Donald Trump is breaking the law left and right. You know it. The country knows it. You want to hold on to power. You like being speaker, but you're the weakest speaker of the House ever. I thought McCarthy was bad, but you're worse. You're absolutely an embarrassment to the country, okay? We are going to hold him accountable. If he has broken the law and the Democrats find it and it's an impeachable offense, hell yeah, we're going for it. And we'll do something. One thing that we do good on the Democrat side, we will impeach him. See, you tried to impeach and remove Joe Biden. You didn't have nothing on him. You know there's shit there to take old Trump down, and we'll find it, and we will get it done, and we will save America from Trumpism, and you can sit in a corner somewhere and cry all you want. Know this. When we win those midterms, we're coming for his ass, and we're going to find all the shit that he's been doing wrong, and we're going to bring it to the light of day, and the people of this great country will see him for exactly what he is, a fucking criminal. Moderate out.
I just watched a quick clip of Mike Johnson, what sounded to me like he was begging for people for the red team to vote in 2026 because he knows darn well that they are going to lose. He's all up in arms about, well, you know, if the Democrats win, we're going to go back to these lunatic liberal policies and there's going to be so many problems within the country. And he's all paranoid about, well, if the Democrats win in 2026 and they get the majority, they are going to impeach Trump, blah, blah. Why do you think they're going to impeach him, MAGA Mike? It isn't because he's doing a damn good job. Trust me, that is not the case. So here's the thing, Mike. You have a man who's in the White House right now who has destroyed the economy, fired hundreds of thousands of federal employees, ripping people off the streets with his unidentified ICE agents, calling out people that are trans, trying to inject misogyny and bigotry. Well, he has injected misogyny and bigotry into the states, promoting hate, insulting every other culture that is not white. What else has this SOB done? Oh, let's see. Oh, building himself a big golden ballroom while the country's not getting their SNAP benefits, ripping out the White House, part of the East Wing of the White House, because he just, thought he could do a better job of making the White House look pretty with a fucking golden ballroom. Redid Lincoln's bathroom. Let's see. Oh, golfing pretty much every weekend on taxpayer dime. multi millions of dollars earned since his inauguration through crypto coins, lying through his teeth, constantly posting AI videos of himself shitting on protesters. Shall I go on? That's just a tiny little snippet of what that son of a bitch has done since he's been in office. And you don't think he's deserving of being impeached? You're goddamn right he's deserving of being impeached. And he will be impeached if he's not dead first.
Well, guys, the Republicans are freaking out right now because they know that after they got obliterated at the polls this week, they now have to change all of their messaging back to the economy and affordability. They were hoping that they could just give tax cuts to their rich friends and then keep everybody distracted by sending the military into blue cities and going to war with Antifa frogmen. But it looks like nobody gave a shit about that. Looks like the real reason that Trump supporters voted for him is because they wanted a bunch of free shit. They wanted free IVF, no more taxes, lower prices at the store, not higher. And they wanted him to literally hand out $5,000 checks to everybody like Oprah. They were looking for the free shit. And when Republicans got in office, obviously they had no intentions of actually helping the American people. But now Republicans are being forced to talk about the economy that they ran straight into the ground. And they can't talk about the numbers because those look terrible. So their number one tactic is to trot out Lego Man Mike Johnson and Daddy Trump to tell everybody that prices are way down. Guys, our pro-growth policies will kick in soon. That's what they have to say. And that's because they're absolutely cooked. The Republicans have done nothing to help the American people, and even their own fans are starting to notice. Anyway, guys, gotta love it. Gotta love watching them squirm. If they thought that this week was bad for them at the polls, woo! Next year is going to be glorious. All right, guys, happy Thursday. Hopefully you're having a great week. I know I am having a damn good week. So let's keep that energy flowing. All right, y'all? Okay, love you. See you soon.
I got some massive fucking news to tell you about the government shutdown, more specifically Mike Johnson. My name is Hunter Howell, and my big question is, what the fuck is Mike Johnson doing? I mean that so wholeheartedly, because today he just came out in a press interview and said, you know, his words, not mine, you know, we may not vote on the ACA subsidies, even if we do reopen the government. You know, nothing is guaranteed. So it turns out that people were right about this theory going around that Republicans don't want to negotiate on the ACA and that they want it to be gone for good. They want the health insurance premiums to skyrocket. And Mike Johnson is just coming out now and saying, yeah, nothing's guaranteed. We don't have to do that. He is getting more and more comfortable with saying the truth out loud, that is their plan of just getting rid of this program entirely. As much as I am no longer part of the conservative movement, I've been following leader John Thune of the Senate very in detail. And while I disagree with a lot of his policies, he seems, from what I have gathered, that he is at least trying to reopen the government, and he is at least trying to find some compromise in regards to the ACA, because John Thune said, yeah, we'll take a vote on it. I can't promise you the results, of course, but yeah, we'll take a vote on it when we reopen the government. But Mike Johnson was like, no, we don't have to even do that. Mike Johnson is single-handedly, I've told you, he's betrayed America. He sold us out. He is holding our house hostage. It is so tragic to see. But that's the truth. My name is Hunter Howell. I'm sending you my love. Algorithm is being really mean to me today. So hopefully you can be nice and comment, repost, like, follow me for more news. By the way, you know I get back to the comments.
Democratic Congresswoman just nailed Mike Johnson with a bunch of truth bombs as he sat there trying to blame Democrats for the government shutdown. Even after getting destroyed at the ballot box on Tuesday, MAGA Mike went in for a photo op. What he got was much worse. In the middle of his carefully scripted stage press conference about the record-breaking government shutdown now in its 36th day, Representative Houlahan stormed in and called him out for what he is, a liar, hiding behind talking points while millions of Americans go without. You should respect free speech, she fired back when Johnson tried to scold her for interrupting. You have an obligation not just to speak lies to the American people, she said to his face. Reporters gasped. Johnson struggled to regain control, insisting that he'd love to talk to Houlahan in private. Johnson's just trying to rewrite history, and Houlahan was not having it. She was not letting him blame the Democrats for the shutdown when it's the Republicans who won't do what they need to do in terms of protecting Americans' health care coverage and health care premiums. She said, voting to shut down the government? You are absolutely misrepresenting history, sir. The moment was political theater, and Houlahan owned the stage. Her fearless outburst came on the heels of Democrats winning big on Tuesday. She didn't just interrupt a press conference, she shattered a facade. She reminded MAGA Mike that actions speak louder than words. And he can say all he wants, but if they're not going to get back to work, if he's not going to force the House back to work, it doesn't matter what he says. This is the kind of leadership from the Democrat side that we need to see more of. Share your thoughts in the comment section and follow me for more.
Happy Thursday morning, everybody. Reading from an article on rawstory.com. Several House Republicans have reportedly heard from the Department of Justice that the unreleased Jeffrey Epstein files are especially compromising for Donald Trump. That's according to reporting from MSNBC, CNN, Fox News, and reporter David Schuster, who posted to his Twitter account on Wednesday that there is, quote, speculation, rumors sweeping through the GOP caucus, close quote, about the details of the Epstein files. Quote, a few GOP House members say they've heard from FBI DOJ contacts that the Epstein files, with copies in different agencies, are worse than Michael Wolff's description of Epstein photos showing Trump with half-naked teenage girls. Schuster is likely referring to an October interview in which Trump biographer Michael Wolff told the Daily Beast that he had personally seen, quote, about a dozen Polaroid snapshots, close quote, of Trump and Epstein, in which Trump was photographed with several topless young women on his lap. Wolff said Epstein pulled the photos out of a safe and spread them out like a deck of cards on his dining room table. The author told the Daily Beast he saw the photos while visiting Epstein's home at the convicted sex offender's invitation, as Epstein wanted Wolff to write a book about him. The veteran journalist further reported that Republicans were, quote, spooked, close quote, by Attorney General Pam Bondi's testimony before the Senate Judiciary Committee after she refused to answer a question from Senator Sheldon Whitehouse about whether she had personally seen the photos after the contents of Epstein's safe were confiscated. Pam Bondi has seen these photos. After Whitehouse asked her about the photos, Sheldon Whitehouse asked her about the photos, Bondi then questioned him about receiving donations from LinkedIn co-founder Reid Hoffman, who also associated with Jeffrey Epstein. Senator Whitehouse responded with a statement saying, contrary to what the Attorney General said multiple times on Tuesday, nobody by the name of Reid Hoffman has ever donated to any of my campaigns, not in 2018, not in 2024, not ever. But Pam Bondi never denied that she had seen these photographs. According to David Schuster, Republicans' anxiety about the contents of the Epstein files is compounded by, quote, more than 100 plus Republicans, close quote, who are reportedly planning to vote for the bipartisan discharge petition brought by Democrat Ro Khanna and Republican Thomas Massie, which only needs one more signature in order to force a vote on the full floor. Representative-elect Adelita Grijalva from Arizona, who won a special election in late September to fill the seat vacated by her late father, promised to be the 218th and final signature on the discharge position, and that's why Speaker of the House Mike Johnson is refusing to swear her in. Republican members of the House have heard from multiple contacts at the FBI and the DOJ that the Epstein files are worse than Michael Wolff's descriptions of Epstein photos showing Trump with half-naked teenage girls. They all know. They all know. And Pam Bondi and Kash Patel and Dan Bongino have all seen all of this evidence. They've seen every bit of it. They know what's there. Polaroids of Donald Trump with topless, underage teenage girls sitting on his lap like a deck of cards. Happy Thursday.
So all you MAGA in New Jersey that said you were going to move out of state if Mikey won, why are you still here? Why haven't you moved yet? Because not only did Mikey win, she crushed Jack. But not just crushed Jack, crushed you. Now let me show you why exactly Jack got crushed. That's your reason. That is your reason right there. Jack tied himself to Trump. Trump is now a losing ticket. And you know who else is seeing this? Republican congressmen, Republican senators. Everybody is now going to distance himself from this loser. There must have been, I don't know, 1 billion signs of Jack in New Jersey. Everywhere you go, you see signs. Signs, signs, signs. Fuck your signs. Signs don't vote. People do. The Democrats wiped the floor last night with all Republicans. You Republicans didn't win dick. Nothing. And that is just going to show you what's going to happen in the midterms. Because when the midterms come and you guys get wiped, what do you think we're going to do? You could say goodbye to your Lord and Savior, Donald Trump. He's done. He not only is going to be impeached, then the trials start, MAGA. The trials. The MAGA party is dead. The MAGA party is no longer. And we're going to make sure of it. You have put such energy and enthusiasm behind us. The blue wave is going to be something like you've never seen before. And it's coming to a town near you. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. And if you guys haven't thrown me a follow yet, please do. Have a day!
So after Tuesday night's glorious turnout, you know, the one where every single election that took place that night ended up with a Democratic win, right? Or it was a win for the people overall. Yeah. Mike Johnson took to wanting to warn the remaining supporters in their party that if the Democrats win the midterms for 2026, that they will impeach Donald Trump and end his administration. I'm so happy that you know exactly what's coming. I'm so happy that you know exactly what's coming. But here's the thing, though. You were too busy warning the people about Donald Trump. We're coming after you, too. We're coming after all of you. You think that we're just going to get rid of Donald Trump and then his little henchmen are still going to be lingering around? No, y'all all got to get the fuck out. Now, it's absolutely no surprise to me that the Republican is still playing this game of wanting to blame the left, even though it is painfully obvious at this point that everything is coming from them. Everything negative is coming from the Republican Party. However, they're trying their best to try to salvage the very few, I guess, supporters or mindless supporters that they have. You understand? So an article found on thehill.com explains how President Trump was very quick to distancing himself following the results of Tuesday night's elections, stating that he was blaming the shutdown and arguing his absence from the ballot played a part in the GOP failing to turn out voters. However, the Republicans were like, suggesting that their party did not focus enough on the issues that mattered the most, like affordability. A fucking duh. The MAGAs wanted money. They wanted you to make the economy better. They wanted cheaper fucking groceries. That's what they've been spewing for the longest that you were going to do. And instead, you tried to take away their SNAP. All they wanted was a fucking stimmy. And you decided to take away their SNAP. How the fuck did you think that was going to play out? But let us continue reading the opinions of the current view of the Republican Party, suggesting, the Republicans, that their party didn't focus enough on the issues that mattered most, like affordability, as they look to hold on to power in Congress. They cared more about power than actually representing the people that supported them. And now they're all getting fucking kicked out of fucking Congress. They're all losing their seats. And now everybody's fucking shaking in their fucking boots because they don't know. They don't know if they're next. My thing is, if you know that you wasn't doing your job, you're fucking next. You're fucking next. Pack your bags, get your desk together, get your little cubicle together, get the fuck out. And now with us finally reaching the part of the timeline where a decent amount of Americans understand that the Republican Party is full of shit, right? The Republicans are also really feeling the heat. And now everybody wants to fucking pivot. Everybody wants to do their job now. Just like how all of a sudden the Supreme Court is starting to talk about how they want to look into some of the tariffs that President Trump first imposed during the beginning of this year to see if they're actually legal. Everybody wants to do their job now because these same Republicans all of a sudden are now wanting to advocate for affordability. Now they want to talk about making things affordable. And I'm trying to understand, were you not hired to represent the people? Were you not hired to represent your people? So why was that never a part of the agenda? Why was that never part of the plan? Why are you now trying to push that like now? To the point where even J.D. Vance is now starting to talk about it, saying that Republicans need to focus on affordability, calling it the metric by which we'll ultimately be judged in 2026 and beyond. They're realizing that 2026 is over for them. They're about to lose the Senate. They're about to lose the House. And the crazy thing about it is when you were in the position finally to have control over all of these things, you should have made it a priority to make the people happy, to literally make the people happy, even see if you could convert some Democrats into changing parties. You understand? That's how good you should have been considering that you had control over everything. But all you guys did was show your fucking asses. And now anything considered or remotely, connected to red, to Republican, nobody gives a fuck. Nobody wants anything to do with you guys anymore. You've completely fucked up your brand, your party. And I don't know, maybe the only thing that you could possibly do is distancing yourself from President Trump. That's what you would have to do. You would have to publicly denounce this man as your leader. That's what you would have to do. But here's the thing, we still not going to go for it. None of us believe you.
Government shutdown update, Thursday the 6th. It's 10:09 a.m. First off, check your weather this weekend. Vortex cold front is hitting earlier than usual. A lot of the states from North Texas and up, it's going to get really cold. Number two, they're starting to announce that 40% of flights are going to be canceled probably going into this weekend. It's getting worse. More people are calling in sick. They're not showing up. Expect huge lines and huge delays. Speaker Johnson has already said it doesn't look like we're going to come to an agreement on anything. And this is going to continue on. Also, earlier in the week, I told you 50% of SNAP benefits were going to go out, but it could be stopped if the Democrats didn't sign off. They didn't. They're telling people now to expect zero SNAP benefits. Some states are already announcing it in the media, not to expect it because it's not coming. Things are grinding to a halt. Look at the airports. Grocery stores, Walmart is telling the government, open up, damn it. Let's see how much power they actually have. Their shelves are full. They've already told their employees they're cutting hours. They've already reduced the amount of people that they're going to seasonally hire for the holidays. They're pissed. I figured if anybody could get the government to open up, it would be the corporations. But the Democrats are still holding on to, they want to keep Obamacare going. They want to keep the healthcare subsidiaries going. They don't give two fucks about people, the American people at all. And it's evident. We're seeing it. It's not changing. We're continuing to see more and more videos of people who are in multi-family or apartment buildings where they've already been hit with between $600 to $1,000 in eviction fees, plus depending on the rent, they're getting hit with hundreds of dollars in late fees already. It's not looking good. And those people, at this point, there's nothing that could be done because the Republicans are offering relief, but the Democrats won't sign off on it. They don't want to sign off on anything that they might lose leverage on. They were going to start announcing no evictions, no foreclosures to get relief, especially for government workers. This is not just for people on Section 8 or low income. This was relief for federal workers who are renting, who are not getting any relief, because we do know that mortgage companies are offering 3 months relief to people who are homeowners that work for the federal government. But the Democrats are entrenched and they're not budging unless they get their way. This looks like it's going into the year next year, and it looks like the holidays are going to be bleak. And conversations I've been having with the AI systems, we both thought that corporations are going to start to apply huge pressure on representatives, and that might get them to snap out. But what's more important right now is the Democrats have a $1.5 billion or trillion-dollar deal to fund everything, and they're not budging unless they can fund everything in other countries, which a lot of us speculate is just a recycle. You send it out and it comes back. So interesting times. I'll keep you updated.